Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and continue.
I had a question. How do we learn to say no when you know that something is like saying yes would affect you in an adverse way, but
You,
still
you
you,
must send your WhatsApp message, no.
Yep, what do we know?
because it happens with me a lot of times that I want to say no, but thinking of what the other person would feel, I tend to say yes. So how do we stop that?
There's no we. There's you, and I suppose the people who who consider other people's feelings. I genuinely believe that you need to hang out with people. I'm wondering why this thing is getting heavy. Hang out with people who can appreciate your honesty and not necessarily care so much that you always agree with what they say. Being honest with yourself and being honest with your friends, I think, is the greatest thing you can do. But obviously, not everyone will agree with what you say, and it's best to find out what kind of friends you got. If you agree with everything they say, and that's the only reason why they're friends with you, then that is not a very good friendship. If you can disagree and agree with things, and then if you give a very good reason why, that's a very good friend. If you completely disagree with everything they say, you may want to reconsider some things. I mean, disagreeing with everything is a bit much. Again, extremes. Agreeing with everything and disagreeing with everything are extremes ends. There's a problem probably on both sides. And the middle is always generally the good thing. So where you can say yes and no, as long as you have good reasoning behind it, I think it should be alright.
I know in what context you're asking.
I don't.
No, no, no. That's not what I meant.
I have no idea.
That's not what I meant. I meant to say small things in life, this and that. But I've been always encouraging people to say yes and yes for everything. Yes or no, if I ask. People around me always say, Sadhguru, it's always yes, tell us what. So for you to say an absolute yes to everything, one important thing is you must create an atmosphere of integrity and trust. If you create an atmosphere of absolute integrity and trust, all of us can say absolute yes when we know nobody will misuse our yes. We can all say 100% yes for everything, isn't it? That's what we should strive for. If it's not possible in the whole world, at least we must create small circles where we can say yes and there is no problem. Nobody misuses a yes. Very important. Very important for healthy unfolding of every life, that you need at least a small cocoon of life around you where you can be a total yes. Without fear or favor, you can be an absolute yes. This you must create. If you don't create this, you will always live in fear. Being exploited is one thing. Living in a fear of exploitation is actually more damaging than exploitation itself.
Real quick, before I move into that, so this is the thing he says in his karma book. When I was listening to him, he says, what was it? I can't remember, but the idea behind it is it's more dangerous to in a sense kick yourself for not doing something, for regretting doing something, than for it to be doing something, than for you to do something bad. It's worse for you to not do something and forever regret that this, or not necessarily forever, but along the lines of regretting that decision of not doing something than to actually do it. It was really kind of weird. I was like, man, I don't know how to feel about that. I kind of get it to some degree, but perhaps it's the levels of what thing that you did and how bad it is. Because, you don't know, I'm assuming it's based on the knowledge that you don't know whether it's going to be a good or bad outcome. So if you don't do it, then you're now thinking, it's like, oh man, would it have been good, would it have been better? I don't know, and you're just constantly thinking, it's like, I could have done something, I could have changed something. and you're kicking yourself over that over the years because you could have done something. Whereas if you would have done it, even though it turned out bad, at least you know for sure, and you don't necessarily kick yourself perhaps too bad with that. I think there are people out there who understand if they do something bad, they kick themselves for it. But I can't wait to hear his second way, hopefully, of explaining this.
So today we are creating a world where, well, there is some reason for it also. There is reason for it also. I am not trying to live in some utopian world. I know how the world is, but I am saying you must create your own little world where you can say yes without any consequence to the yes. It's important. If we do not do this, then we will always live in walls. No is a wall, isn't it? In India, nobody says just no. They'll say, no, 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 no. Have you seen this? Nowhere else it happens, only in India. No, 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 no. They think one no won't stop them. No is a wall, yes is a doorway, isn't it? If you open your door, a devil could come in or the divine could come in. The fear that devil may come in, if you close the door, you have also closed the door for the divine. What an unfortunate life, yes or no? You not only closed your door to negativity, you closed your door to everything because some negativity once came through your door. Don't do that to yourself. Once you live here, there are dangers of life, of course. But because there are dangers to life, if you close all possibilities to life, that'll become a very absurd and sad life.
Sorry. I was gonna say, if you close all the doors, then you're obviously closing the doors to happiness as well, to excitement, to challenge, to change, to everything. Closing that door just means stagnation as well. It's safe and comfortable, but boring, non-changing kind of deal. So when you close that door, you close your everything, your opportunities as well. Opportunity to be happy, but also at the same time, opportunity to be sad. Is very much right. You take that risk, but for the most part, it should be worth it. Now, obviously I think the middle ground is going to be the kind of the answer. Always, it's always going to be somewhere in the middle, in my opinion. That be wary of those who you open doors for. Don't keep it completely shut. Don't keep it completely open. That's again farce extremes. I think most people are going to be good. You can open the doors for those people, and there's going to be some that are bad, and you can close the doors for those people. You have to develop a very good judgment of people, or at the very least, get to know them.
Walls that you build for self-preservation are also the walls of self-imprisonment. If you build a wall to protect yourself today, after some time, this is your prison, isn't it? So no, 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 no. You built a wall around yourself. Can I say yes to anybody for anything? No, that's not possible. We've still not created that kind of a world. That's too high up there. That's why you must create at least a little world where you can say yes without consequence. Very important.
My question is, how does one deal with insecurities?
Oh.
Pretty straightforward and simple.
How does one deal with insecurity?
I don't know how I would answer this. I don't know if I even really have an answer. Insecurities. I guess I'd have to be a little bit more precise, and perhaps maybe I can get an answer for that. Insecurities, and like what exactly? Because I can't really think of anything, honestly. I always like to think I have an answer for something, but obviously I understand the truth that I don't have the answer to everything, and this is the reason why I watch many different gurus and many different swamis to develop my own answer for things, as well as listening to what they have to say, because a lot of the things they say I generally do agree upon, and that's generally the answer hopefully I would come up with. And for the most part, I've been pretty good. I've been really. I do think about a lot of things in life, and questions like not like this, but questions in general, I do think about, especially if it affects me or people that I know. Insecurities in life. Maybe it's the word I'm not too familiar with. Like you don't like. I guess talking in public, perhaps. It's just doing. The only thing I can think of, if that's the kind of the question she's asking, is just to do it, a small step at a time.
Life is insecure. There is no security about life because… Shall I reveal a secret to you? However young
Yes.
and healthy you are, you're going to die one day. I'll bless you with a long life, but you will die one day. Is it okay? Is it okay? No?
I was gonna say no, but
So you can die joyfully or you can die crying, it's up to you. But anyway you'll die one day, yes or no? If you say, I don't want to die, today you start the chanting, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. All that'll happen is you will not live, but you will die. Yes? The fear, I don't want to die, will make you not live, but it will not make you not die. Anyway, you will die.
I think Dandapani made a pretty good point about this. I guess the question I would ask him, at least in this perspective, is the fact that if you had 6 months to live, and the reason I chose 6 months is because it's not too short, but not too long of a time to give you kind of enough time to do certain things. And what would you prioritize? And you will realize those are probably the most important things to do in your life. Because a lot of people are kind of lost and they don't know what to do with their lives, and they're wasting their life by just wandering lost. But if you tell them, okay, what if you had 6 months to live? What would you do? And then hopefully you'll guide them in the right direction. I don't think it's guaranteed necessarily, but it will push them in the right direction, I believe.
Coming to terms with mortality is one very important thing. If you don't come to terms with mortality, you're living in a fancy world of unreal world, not in the real world. The real world is, we come and go. So many countless number of people have come and gone before us, isn't it? You're you're in an institution from 1857. I was just wondering how they started an institution in that year, because in that year there was such turmoil all over the country. 1857. Lot of upheaval in the country, but somehow somebody managed to start an institution. The soil that you're walking upon, we don't know how many people are buried. Yes or no? All these countless people, number of people who walked this planet before you and me, where are they? They're all topsoil. Yes or no? This will also become topsoil one day, unless your friends choose to bury you real deep, fearing you may rise from the dead. There have been certain instances. This happened. There was an old couple in Texas, over 75 years of age. It was their dream to go to the Holy Land or the Jerusalem. But because of business and then children growing up, going to the university and their marriages and da-da-da, they never made it. When they're over 75 years of age, they made the trip to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a place where every cobblestone reeks of history. So they walked that pathway where Jesus is supposed to have walked. They went to that place where he's supposed to have walked on the water and many things like this. They were overwhelmed by this whole experience. And unfortunately, the lady had a heart attack and she died. Then the man was preparing to take her body back to Texas. But then the local people approached and said, see, Jerusalem is the holy land. This is the right place to die. She's done the right thing. So let's do all the rituals here and bury her here. And it just costs you $25,000. Because if you take her back to Texas, just the transportation costs $18,000 and local charges, and in America the cemetery charges are very heavy. All this put together, you will spend much more money, and above all, she's chosen to die in the Holy Land. This is where she must be buried, let's do it. The man said, no, I'm taking her back to Texas. They said, see, you're very distressed because of your wife's death. You're not able to think straight, we can understand. So we will give you a super discount, $15,000. This is a haggling place, you know. Let's do it. The man thought about it and he said, no, I will take her back to Texas. Then they said, see, it doesn't make sense. I can see you're very distressed. You lost your wife of 45 years, so obviously you're very, very distressed, you're not thinking straight at all. We can understand this just because of that. You are an American and you are from Texas, so we give you an absolute super discount, $10,000. Let's do it. Come on, let's do it, let's do it. You must… what I'm talking, if you want to understand, you must go to Kashi or Hardwar, someplace, how these things happen, you know. Then the man thought about it and he said, no, I'm taking her back to Texas. And they threw their hands up and said, why? What's the problem with you? $10,000, let's do it. He said, see, in Texas, dead stay dead.
Oh, jeez.
So,
I'm guessing he's talking about how maybe Jesus rose back from the dead that one time. I don't know, has anyone else rose back from the dead from that area? That's the only one that I know. I don't know if it was Jesus was buried there. I know Jesus was supposedly resurrected, but I don't know if it's from that area or not. But, good Lord.
if you come to terms with your mortality, security, insecurity, all these things will go. You are living on a daily basis as if you are forever. The fundamental awareness that this is mortal, this is here only for a limited amount of time, if this was a a normal conscious thing for you, you would put your life to best use, for sure. And if you come to terms with that one thing, there would be no insecurity because there's nothing to gain, nothing to lose in this life. You came with nothing. Whatever the hell is happening, you're on the profit side. Yes or no? Huh? Isn't it so? Did you come with investment? No. You come with nothing. So whatever the hell is happening, you're always on the profit side, isn't it? And anyway, they don't allow you to take a container in the end. So all you have is how profound, intense and beautiful is your experience of life. So don't make too much fuss about it. You're acting as if you're going to lose something. No, there's nothing to lose, nothing to gain because you come and you go. You may think, oh, my life, my life. No, it's your life on this planet is like a pop-up. On the computer screen, you've seen these pop-ups? You just pop up and pop out. In the meantime, will you rise and shine is the only question, all right? So if anyway you shine, sometimes you may be seen by people, sometimes you may not be seen by people. The important is you You are shining within yourself and that's all that matters. If people have eyes, they will see it. If they have no eyes, they won't see it, that's their problem. But you are living an intense and profound life. That's all that matters here. If you understand this and if you bring this into your life, insecurity will not happen because security can happen only in death. That's all.
That's an interesting statement there. There's only insecurities in life and security in death. I don't think he said it that way, but I'm making that statement as in the fact that death is secured. You're guaranteed to die. And the fact that life is insecure, nothing is secure. I guess he's talking about a little bit different thing, but life is insecure as in nothing is guaranteed. But also, yeah, nothing's guaranteed. But I guess that's an interesting way to look at it with her explanation of insecurities. I really can't answer that question because I don't know exactly what she's insecure about. There could be many things, I think. Maybe I never really had anyone really ask me about, I'm insecure about this, how can you help me, or whatever. I mean, I just always, I guess the one thing, like, no one likes going up and talking public speaking, right? I remember in my speech class, it's like, well, I have to do this for my grace, I'm just gonna do it. I did the Little Caesars. I did a Caesar scene where I did as was it Mark Antony carrying Caesar, and I lifted my fellow student and carried him to the table and laid him there, and then I talked the speech. I forget what the speech goes. Roman countrymen, lend me your ears, for I've come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. That speech, and I didn't really remember it at all. I had to look at my little cheat sheet. But anyways, yeah, I just did it, And basically, I guess in some sense, what I'm getting from this is the fact that life is short. Like I said, you're just a little pop-up in life. It's up to you what you want to do with that life. If you're gonna have your insecurities hold you back, then you're not gonna live life to the fullest. So, but that's still, it's not like it's gonna necessarily help us. Like, what's the process of eliminating these insecurities? Again, I do believe Sadhguru's power engineering would help her a lot. I mean, that's like almost like the solution for everything. Hopefully I'm not talking too fast, let me know. I'm talking fast so that I can get my ideas out quickly. But I think it's the fact that, there's certain steps that they should take, and maybe psychologists and whatnot may be able to help. I'm not too sure anymore, but talking to your friends, asking people around you, it's like, how did you overcome your fear of this or fear of that, or your insecurities of this, insecurities of that? It's not to say that they have the answer, but it could be an answer for you, or maybe it's not. You try it out, it's like, maybe I'll try that, and you do it, it's like, nah, that didn't work for me.
People keep asking me, coming to me and asking me, Sadhguru, please bless us, nothing should happen to us. I say, hey, what kind of blessing is this? My blessing is let everything happen to you. Everything that's life must happen to you. Have you come here to avoid life or have you come here to experience life? Please, you must make a decision right now. Have you come here to avoid life or to experience life? Experience life. All the different dimensions of what this life holds must happen to you, isn't it so? If you come to avoid life, there's an ocean right here. You can jump into the ocean. See, if you want to avoid life, you must die. It's a more efficient way of doing things, isn't it? You're alive and you try to avoid life, it'll become miserable. If you feel insecure, that's what you will do. You will try to avoid life. When you're alive and try to avoid life, it'll cause immense misery. When you're alive, you live. When you die, you die. Don't get up from the dead.
A bit harsh, but I get what he's trying to say.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. I am Alina Jacob, a student of third year architecture.
I didn't realize how small that place was. So let me… They did not have like I guess a place, I guess like a stadium or something. I figured they would. They're an architect school, for crying out loud,
Namaskaram Sadhguru. I am Alina Jacob, a student of third year architecture. My question is, we live in a society where people are where we find people who are extrovert and introvert in nature. So the people who are extrovert, they are confident enough to express themselves, but meanwhile, in this competitive world, people who are introvert, will they ever be able to make a stand or mark as good as the way the extroverts do it? And even if they manage to reach somewhere in life, will they continue to be an introvert?
The thing I would say about this is the fact that just because you're an extrovert doesn't make you an expert in everything. You can be very good at talking to people, but you could be completely dumb. You could know nothing about the subject matter at hand. But if you're an introvert, I guess you could say I'm a mix of it both. I used to be maybe an introvert, kinda. I find the people I could talk to, and I talk to them. I never really thought about it, but I was shy for sure. But if you're an introvert, I would say this: find something that you're very much interested in, learn as much as you can about it, and talk to people about it. Find people that like that same thing and talk to them. You'll get comfortable around them. Find a job that you like, and for example, let's just say you're developing software that you sell to other companies. Learn as much as you can about that software and then try to sell it. It's like, hey, yeah, hey, you wanted to buy this software. This is a great security software. It protects malware, updates every day. It doesn't even interfere with the processes going on in the background. It's a very low resource management, so it doesn't take up too much of resources on your computer. It's all cloud-based as well, so that there is some local, but some mostly cloud, and everything's computed that way. That way, everything's up to date. The more you know something about, the more you know about something, generally speaking, the more you know how to talk about it. So this is where, while introvert, extrovert doesn't really, I don't think matters, but if you're very knowledgeable at something, you can talk about that. And from there, you can kind of you can delve into other things. Know something, talk to people about it, and kind of deviate from that a little bit. You know, this is kind of the reason why I guess I kind of like learning about things, and the more I know, the more I can talk. Maybe I talk too much though.
See, the difference between this extrovert or introvert is, or what these two things are is, it's like mistaking your exhalation for inhalation and inhalation for exhalation. There is no such thing as extrovert or introvert. Do not classify people like that. Some people see that they need to act and reach out. Some people see there is not much need for that. So maybe they are not on the Twitter and Facebook and whatever. This doesn't mean they're introvert. They have a life of their own. We should not judge people like this. Every human being has a right to be whichever way they want. But now the question is, if I am not extrovert, will I be able to do things in the world? That's a main aspect of the question.
The only reason why I say about the product, by the way, sorry, is the fact that because I think a lot of introvert people probably have trouble talking about a subject matter. They struggle a bit. But I think if you're knowledgeable about a subject matter, you can talk to people, but be mindful of how you talk. You could be talking too much, perhaps, and just present things as you want it presented to yourself. But be mindful of social cues, I guess. It's kind of hard, but it's the only way to get good at something. Like riding a bike, you're not going to know how to instantly ride a bike day one. You're going to be falling, but as long as you keep doing it, you eventually learn how to ride a bike, much like how you will talk to people.
See, your ability to do things is not because you want to do things. I want to do something is my desire. Desire is just an intention. An intention won't make things happen. An intention will only set direction. Still you have to make the journey, isn't it? Now, one important thing, especially because you're artists, you're not in business program or something like that, I think you should look at life like this. You must see how to enhance this one. Enhance this one means not blow up your ego in a big way. Enhance the life that you are. When I say life, I'm talking about the life that you are. I'm not talking about your body, I'm not talking about the structure of your mind, I'm not talking about… See, when people say life, you are supposed to decipher. They could be talking about their home, they could be talking about their relationship, they could be talking about their car or their dog or something. My life means something. I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about the life that you are. Are you alive? Are you really alive? Or just a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, prejudices, opinions? Most people are just this. Because of that, we make conclusions, this is an introvert, this is an extrovert. Because without conclusion, you can't have a thought. You need conclusions and conclusions and conclusions about everything. Now I need to conclude, this is introvert, this is extrovert. Otherwise, my thought every time freaks, okay, who the hell is she? But human faculties are such, I don't have to conclude, I can just look. This moment how she is, that's all that matters. Yesterday how she was, doesn't matter, isn't it? And tomorrow how she's going to be, you have no clue. Yes or no? Do not fix life, either yours or anybody else's. Do not fix it, because what you're calling as human life is a possibility. To make this possibility into your reality, you have to travel a distance. Do you have the courage and the commitment to travel the distance? That's all the question is. It doesn't matter what is your level of intelligence, what is your level of capability, introvert, extrovert, this, that, doesn't matter. Do you have the courage and commitment to make the possibility into your reality? That's all the question is. So, if you focus, whatever you're doing right now, it doesn't matter what it is. How simple an act you're doing right now, it doesn't matter. If you're absolutely devoted to that you're doing right now, depending upon various aspects, things will unfold. But because of Western influences, we've become too goal-oriented. Goal-oriented means we are interested in the consequence, but we are not interested in the process. If you are not interested in the process, you should not be an artist. If you are not interested in the process, you should never design a building because it's going to land on somebody's head. Yes? Process is an end in itself. If you are absolutely devoted to the process, depending upon various aspects, something will come out. But now we are interested in the consequence, not in the process. This goal-orientedness, I want to get there, I want to get there. Where the hell do you want to get? No, I want to win the race. See, if you treat life as a race, if you have to win it, you have to get to the finish line soon, isn't it? You want to? Hello? If you get to the finish line ahead of all these people, you won the race. You know what the finish line is? We'll be negotiating where to bury you. So, particularly being in creative arts, don't ever think of a goal. What should I become? How should I be? What should I create? Don't worry about these things. If you're devoted to the process, something will come out. Something more beautiful than you imagined will happen because you're devoted to the process. Without devotion, I'm specifically using the word devotion because people think devotion means going to the temple, church or mosque. No, without devotion, either in sport, art, music, spirituality, politics, business, anything, any arena of life, has anybody done anything truly significant without being absolutely devoted to what they're doing? Have they? No. Mediocre things you can do. So do not think of art and aesthetics as a way to earn a living. Living will happen. Living will happen. This is what I'm promising people. of all professions, no matter what, especially if you're an artist. If you have problem with bread, you come to me. I will make sure you have a roof and a bread. Only thing I want to see is, you're focused on something, I don't care what. Nothing came out of your focus, I don't care. But I want to see you focused on something. I can't stand unfocused people, that's all. I'm making an open-ended offer. Anybody who's worrying about bread, you just come to me. I'll make sure you eat for the rest of your life and you have a place to stay. But I want to see you at least 12 hours a day focused on something, whatever the damn thing is. I won't ask you what you're focused on, but I want to see you focused. Because if a human being stays focused on something, inevitably it'll yield. How can it not yield? The universe will yield to you if you're focused.
Okay, I'm gonna end the video there because there's about 27 more minutes left, and I'm gonna go over that hour mark. So, I was gonna say, like, there's nothing necessarily wrong with goal orientation, but it seems like, I guess, the experience that maybe Sadhguru had, or, well, he said that for art purposes, you shouldn't be worried about the goal, which at that point, it's like, okay, yes, I get it. Art is an expression, and everything, there's a goal. But if you're focused on a goal, you miss the process, and the process is an important part of the art, I suppose. When you're thinking of other things, like how to be successful, well, I don't know. I just don't know how to. My personal thought on goal orientation is not necessarily negative, but if you're always in a rush to, like, so many goals, so many goals, so many goals, and never-ending goals, that can be bad. Because you're kind of fixating your life on just a very strict path, which I would not disagree with Sadhguru there. You know, you gotta live life a little bit. But I think having a goal is pretty good. Having too many goals may be a problem. And then, obviously, the path that you choose to take to accomplish that goal, yeah, matters, of course. There's many ways to accomplish a goal, kind of like how there are many ways to reach enlightenment in Hinduism. That the goal of Hinduism is to be enlightened. What are the paths? Many paths. Kind of like a goal. You set a goal. There are, I won't say there are many paths, but there are paths to achieve that goal. And just be mindful of that. No reason to have too many. One goal at a time is fine. Maybe two. But what are your goals in life, though, you know? Those should be very important things that you should be striving for, and not racing like Sadhguru was talking about. There are people out there who do that. And maybe they're a little crazy, but you know, just strive for a good goal. That's a worthy goal. I suppose that's maybe the key question, the key statement there is a worthy goal. A worthy goal being enlightened. Again, that is a goal. The path is very many. That's one goal in life, and then have another goal. Obviously, a goal that you can continue to work at, and something that may take a lifetime for some people, and maybe, you know, maybe they don't get it. Maybe they do. I am in no rush. Is my goal to be enlightened? No. My goal is just not to suffer as much. That's good enough for me. Very low standard goal there, and I'm doing a fairly decent job at it, I will say. It's something that it took me a while. This all started in college with learning Buddhism, that life is suffering, and to give 110%. Essentially, it's like, give it everything you got, but expect nothing from it. That way, if something happens, that's great. If something bad happens, or it doesn't turn out the way that you want it, then, well, you are not expecting anything from it at all. Now, that's a bit hard, but I get the message. It's the fact that you make sure you do your best job, but, you know, don't care so much about it. Don't get attached is the actual thing I'll use. Don't get so attached to it. That way you don't suffer so much. Now, obviously, it's going to be kind of hard to do that, but I've been fairly decent at it, and I think I'm into a point where I'm very much content in life. So, is there still more to work on? Obviously, yeah. It's never ending. It's a never ending working on yourself, inner engineering, looking inwards and looking at your thoughts and your emotions and understanding why these things happen. At least for me, Now, I'm gonna say my method's gonna get you enlightenment. No, probably not. Maybe halfway there at most, but probably not even that. To contentment, maybe. Again, everyone's different. My path to contentment is not definitely going to be a path for everyone else. But yeah. Anyways, well, I guess we should end the video there. And the next one will be the last one. Hopefully I don't talk too much in that one. But anyways, 27 minutes for the last one. Anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.